You've tuned into Unpause Your Life with Dr. Callie Estes. Your access to success strategies and more to help you move onward and upward with your life. Listen in each week as she interviews others who have really taken their essence to the next level and truly unpaused their life. Now here's your host, Dr. Callie Estes.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. This is Dr. Callie Estes, and I am founder of the Addictions Academy, the Addictions Coach, and Rehab Rescue. Welcome to Unpause Your Life. This is a great podcast where we showcase people who have done something extraordinary with their life. I welcome you, and I hope you enjoy all of our guests.
On my way, found a reason to wake up another day.
Before we get started, let's hear this short message from one of my supporters.
All the things that you won't do.
Did you know 81% of Americans would like to become a published author? Chances are you might be one of them. What's stopping you? Writing and publishing a book takes a lot of work and is expensive, right? Well, not anymore. For your next book project, or even your first, team up with Hassle-Free Books. They make it so easy to become an author. They remove all of the fuss and struggle and make it smooth and simple. And it's far more affordable than you could ever imagine. Go to hasslefreebooks.com and use promo code UNPAUSE to receive a 10% discount off of any book project. Get started right away and become a published author in as little as 45 days. For your free 1-hour book formula guide, which will show you just how painless it can be to become an author, head to hasslefreebooks.com today.
All right. Thanks again for joining me. Let's get started with today's show.
Took a walk down the dark road where they said that I shouldn't go. I knew the dangers of life.
Welcome to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Callie Estes of the Addictions Coach, Addictions Academy. I have a very special guest today. I've got Boris Schaak out of LA, originally from Germany, on my show. He is also one of my teachers. He teaches the fitness and recovery class. And Boris is ISSA Certified. He's the founder of Sober Fitness and celebrity trainer and sober coach. He offers the very best coaching and training available on the planet. He enjoys being a catalyst for helping people understand their untapped potential and how to access it. He's been working professionally in the world of fitness and holistic wellness for 30 years, although he is in such great shape you wouldn't know his age, as he says. Boris is highly skilled and trained in various disciplines and brings 110% to each client. In his former life, he was also a famous bodyguard to a celebrity. Welcome, Boris.
Hello, Callie. Thanks for having me.
Well, welcome. So what are you doing these days? You're out there in LA, and are you training and doing fitness?
Well, so I just got back from a client, actually, that has me do fitness and recovery coaching both together. I believe that, the structure of a fitness system that implements the foundation for recovery that teaches consistency, which I believe is the key to a successful recovery. When we first come into recovery, never mind 12 steps or otherwise, we have to go to meetings, we go to therapy, we learn this whole new structure. And really, when we're new, we're not really excited about this process. I found a way in my sober fitness training system to incorporate physical fitness in this process and teach my clients consistency through fitness.
That's awesome. I've been doing this 21 years, and the one thing I've noticed is that treatment centers don't promote healthy eating and fitness. When you get in there, they have vending machines with Snickers bars and Monsters and Rockstar and cookies and candy and cake and sugar. And they say, we have access to the gym, and it's a once-a-week trip to some little hole in the wall, and no one knows how to use the equipment.
I agree. Where to start. So with, the body can only recover physically if it gets the required nutrition and rest, especially for an addict coming in the early days of recovery with the damage that we've done did with drugs and alcohol possibly. And if we don't feed the body properly, it won't recover. This is why through your school, the Addictions Academy, we put together this class, Fitness and Recovery, that actually teaches the recovery centers and rehabs how to implement a fitness lifestyle into the recovery process, which I believe within the next 2 years will be the new thing in recovery. If you're not implementing fitness, you're going to get left behind. I am even going so far that fitness is going to be the fourth leg, recovery, service, unity. Fitness is going to, and nutrition is going to be the fourth leg, because without proper nutrition, the body can't recover.
I agree with you. And I've been doing this 22, 23 years. I'll kind of show my age. And when I first started, I started a nonprofit, and I started in a prison. And then I worked in like a women's shelter. And the food quality was awful. Everything was on just stay sober, just stay sober, just stay sober, go eat cake, go have a Snickers bar, have something else. And really all they did was trade addictions. So you went from being an alcoholic or a heroin addict to now a food addict. Now you're banging sugar as much as you were heroin or alcohol. And we created this breed of people that say it's okay to eat like this, when really sugar is just as bad as cocaine. They ping the brain the same. And the detox on sugar is the same as heroin.
Absolutely. And these days you have a twofold problem here. One is, like you just said, the nutrition that's offered is not the right one. And the endorphins are not going to fire to where it's supposed to. The brain's not going to be able to take all that new information in when we send somebody into recovery. There's actually now research coming out that is one of the key factors why people keep relapsing, because the brain can't take up all this new information. You have somebody that comes in, realizes that they burned their life down. They're already stressed out. Their body is in complete disarray. And all it takes is having a Snicker bar plus somebody having a bad day. And then they're crashed from the sugar. And if at that moment, on top of it, they get irritated, they possibly leave the rehab or the treatment center for that reason. On top of that, now you have food companies treat sugar. It's been modified that your brain literally thinks it's heroin. The addiction, like you said, is exactly the same. So is the come down. Anybody ever want to try to stop eating sugar for 2 weeks, stay in for a surprise. You're going to have withdrawals, just like you have from drugs.
I completely agree with you. And that's what we're seeing, is the body is really reacting to the sugar and the chemicals and the monsters and all the other things that people are putting into it. So a little bit more about what you do specifically.
I built my sober fitness system on the 12 steps. I'm very 12-step based. I realize that's not everybody's thing. It doesn't have to be that. You can incorporate it into any treatment module that you like. But I very much believe that the fitness system for addicts, on a physical and a spiritual foundation. The gym is a very ego-based environment. Anybody walks into a gym for the first time, not having worked out for a while alone, is going to feel separate. An addict that comes in realizing they have done damage to their body, they don't look the same they did 5 or 10 years ago after doing crystal, cocaine, or alcohol, right away they're going to feel separate then. These are things we have to talk to before we send people to the gym. On the other spectrum, if an addict gets actually the body they want, God forbid, an addict gets what they want, what do we do then? Now I have abs, I have the big bicep, and the girls are talking to me, and I get invited to a party, and somebody asked me if I want to do some drugs, and I do. That's my story. It happened to me 4 times because I didn't realize that my currency was my physical being. I put a lot of emphasis what other people thought about me, about the way I look, and the way I felt about that was a big thing for me. Through my own story, I learned to let go of this, and that's actually the basis on how I've created Sober Fitness.
So you're really 12-step based, but you also implement the fitness. Now, don't a lot of people that are on the 12-step community, they're not really into fitness? It's more spiritual?
Absolutely, and that's something that I'm trying to change. Again, the spirit can only go where the physical body leads it. This whole system with not paying attention right away when I come in and just have donuts and coffee will not do the body any good. It's just going to lead, like you said, to food issues. I'm going to gain weight. That's going to have another issue. So having proper nutrition is really something that's catching on. The problem here is now that, let's say you have good insurance or you can afford to go a high-end rehab and you have somebody cook nutritious, tasty meals for you. You go home and you can't sustain that. Nobody taught you how to actually calorie count, how much, calorie does a protein have, how much protein am I supposed to eat. This is all something that at the Addictions Academy, at the Fitness and Recovery Program, we take a look at and we educate addicts, because that is something that's desperately needed. I call it taking nutritional inventory. If I don't know what I eat, I don't know how I'm going to recover. It's like trying to go to work with 20 cents worth of gas in the tank. I have the best intentions to get there, but I'm just not going to get there.
Right. And that makes so much sense. So why do you think these treatment centers don't implement more fitness and more nutrition?
Now you're touching on a very interesting subject. Well, twofold. One, it's like this. If you have, for instance, a therapist, it's a great therapist, and the therapist is really good at what they're doing, but have never heard about recovery. It's not somebody you would want to work with for your recovery clients as far as a therapist goes. The same thing goes for instance, a personal trainer and for the recovery homes. They've just not been educated in this process. It's something they have the best intention, most of them, but they're just themselves never been involved in a fitness program and don't realize how beneficial this could possibly be for the addict. On the other spectrum, a lot of things I have experienced personally is that recovery homes look at me and they go, "Oh, you mean this will help the addict actually to stay sober better, more safely, longer?" We're simply not interested in that, because a lot of recovery homes like the revolving door. There is no accountability for a lot of these places. A client goes into a place, pays a lot of money, relapses, and then has to pay money again. Sometimes people go within a month, I think 3-4 times. And I believe a lot of the relapses, there's a lot of different reasons for that. But I think, and I strongly believe that nutrition is a very big factor for that.
So you think this class is going to take off, and you think that people are going to start realizing that diet and nutrition are just as integral to recovery as, say, the 12-step program or your therapist or your coach?
Absolutely. I'm convinced of it. It is just common, it's logical sense that if you take somebody and the proof is in the pudding. The rest of the world, as far as fitness programs, we know that the teenager that goes to high school has to eat nutritional meals. We tell that all our teenagers don't leave home without breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Otherwise, your brain will not be able to take in all the information that you want to take in to get good grades. There's numerous studies on that. It's proven. We simply haven't implemented this knowledge into the recovery process. It's a completely open field. And with it, I'm simply doing something new that people are catching on to. The response is phenomenal.
So you're the pioneer in fitness and recovery.
I'm one of the people. I've been doing this now. I'm turning 11 years sober. I'm coming here in March 18. I've been working with Sober Fitness for the last 8-9 years. I've been a fitness coach for 27 years. So I'm just simply bringing my fitness and nutritional experience into my recovery process. That was something that early on in my own recovery, when I, quote unquote, had an easy time staying sober, I realized that the one thing I did different right from the start was, yes, I went to 2 meetings a day. I did my step work. I did my prayer and all that stuff. But I also right away implemented a nutrition program with that. And that simply helped me to get my chemistry as far as the human body goes. It just brought it back to normal much quicker than if I would have just, at the time I was smoking, I was, like everybody else, eating donuts and drinking a lot of coffee. I mean, I came in homeless when I was, when I came into recovery. So it took a minute, but I knew that nutrition and rest were the key elements of my recovery.
So let me ask you this question. If someone were to say to get up, have a Pop-Tart for breakfast, go to a group or a meeting, for lunch they have a Hot Pocket, then they smoke a couple cigarettes, have a few Monsters, a Snickers bar, and then for dinner they have Burger King and McDonald's. I want to know, do you consider that in recovery? And tell me what they feel like.
Well, of course, I want to be careful with the language when you ask, do I consider that somebody in recovery? Personally, no, I don't. But especially with somebody in early recovery, I want to be careful because somebody's time is very precious to them. If somebody has a week or 2 months and I confront them with the fact and say, hey, you're not really, that's an issue right here. You're addicted to sugar. They're going to get disillusioned and throw it all into the ground and walk away. So, this is something that I have to, on an individual basis, introduce very carefully. What I'm trying to do, what we are actually trying to do with the Addictions Academy and with the Fitness and Recovery class is educate, not just, of course, my goal is to introduce this class more and more to fitness coaches around the country. But also my goal is to actually educate recovery homes. So they implement my program, my message right from the start and integrate it into the recovery process. So it's something that the people that are coming in at some point, it's going to be normal to talk about nutrition, have cooking classes, talk about the emotions and connection that we have to food, because, we all have an ego and we all have a lot of shame one way or the other about the way we look. Give me somebody out of shape, they're going to say I don't look great, and give me somebody that's amazing shape. I ran around for 25 years in amazing shape, and I would tell you, oh, it's not good enough, because I was an addict then, and my addiction was my physical currency, but losing a pound of fat and gaining a pound of muscle was never enough. I was always chasing the carrot on the stick with, if I get there, then I'm going to be happy. If I get that 6-pack, am I going to lift this weight? If that girl looks at me, if I drive that car, all these things that we put the carrot on the stick and we go, then we're going to be happy. Sober fitness teaches people to be right-sized and learn to be happy about who they are now, not tomorrow, not when they're in shape, realizing that I'm a survivor, that I survived addiction. 1 day or 10 years, the same thing, I'm a survivor, and to bring that type of energy into the workout. There's a whole method. For instance, I start my training, I started off with a meditation to bring my clients into the right mindset. Because if you ask anybody that goes to the gym, why do you come here? What is your intention behind going to the gym? They're all going to say, oh, I want to look good, I want to get into shape. Sober fitness teaches feeling good is the new looking good. It doesn't matter what I look like if I don't feel good. If I feel good, it doesn't really matter what I look like, right?
That makes perfect sense, because that's what I teach. I say throw your scale out. If you're comfortable in your clothes, then you're comfortable. I don't care if it's a size 0, 2, 4, or 14. If you feel comfortable, then that's the weight you need to be at, and that's the size you need to be at. But you also need to be eating healthy, and you need to be exercising and meditating and relaxing and getting all those components in, because for me, they're integral to recovery. I think people get grouchy if they don't eat and eat the wrong foods. And I think there's a lot of big pharma stuff that causes issues in the body that could be handled with specific detox supplements that just aren't. So I think there's a lot of moving parts to this.
Absolutely, I agree. In society, unfortunately, in a much larger picture, pharmaceutical industries want us not to be healthy. That's unfortunately the way it is. Call me a conspiracy theorist on that, but then that's the way they prescribe us medications to feel better. If you eat a well-balanced diet and you exercise, you meditate, and you work your recovery program, whatever program that is going to be a difference, a major difference for the addict, instead of just doing the recovery process and not implementing a physical fitness program into the recovery process. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We just simply bring in a fitness program into the recovery process. Yes, of course, there is a major difference between sober fitness and a lot of other systems out there. Most of the fitness systems out there are based on ego. They say, hey, bring the uncomfortability, you anger, and we're going to build you a new body and new life with that. And I'm saying, whoa, you cannot on a permanent basis take your anger and your disappointment and drive your life with that, because that's what I did. This is the experience that I bring into sober fitness, because at some point, the anger is going to run out, which is the driving force, the motivation for most people to go to the gym. They don't feel good enough. The discomfortability that comes with that is going to go away for one reason or another, and they're going to then go back to drugs and alcohol. Sober fitness bases the physical fitness program on a spiritual foundation. That is something completely new, away from the macho ego stuff, and actually base it on spiritual principles.
So if I heard you correctly, you're not talking about the 250 muscle-bound guy in a tank top in the gym grunting and throwing weights and looking in the mirror. You're talking about something totally different in recovery.
Absolutely. I used to be that grunting 270-pound bodybuilder at the gym, and I was uncomfortable and unhappy as hell because it was never good enough, because that's not really what it was, what made me uncomfortable. What made me uncomfortable was my stinking thinking, was my disease of the mind. I have a shit finder I wake up with every morning, and if I don't, fault finder, if I don't correct that with my spiritual foundation, with my spiritual principles, then I'm going to have an issue that day. Any addict knows what I'm talking about. So, yes, I'm talking about a complete new way of looking at physical activity. None of this, no pain, no gain nonsense. I'm not saying don't go all out and learn how to physically exhaust yourself, but I say be present, be honest with yourself. Are you really supposed to lift that weight, or are you doing it because the pretty girl or the pretty guy next to you is looking at you and you want to show off? Which is what 98%, and I'm being very nice, people at the gym do. They go to satisfy the need to get attention as far as other people paying attention to them. Very, very seldom do they actually pay attention to themselves. Hey, what's going on with my body? They don't even know what's going on with their body because nobody ever taught them.
And that makes a lot of sense. So let me ask you this. So what does your ideal client look like? And when it comes to helping them, how much of your coaching process takes place in the gym, and how much of it takes place somewhere else?
Well, the fitness and recovery class, is a 2-day online class where we talk about the whole spectrum. It's not hands-on, it's theoretical. It's talking about the principles. It's talking about nutrition. It's talking about how to exercise. As far as working with a client in the gym or in recovery homes, it's a little bit of a different process. And as far as the ideal client is just like the ideal, recovery client as a sober coach. Open-mindedness and willingness. The ability to learn, to be willing to learn something new. The ability to be present enough to say, oh, wow, I've been doing it this way, and somebody's trying to show me a new way. Let's see how that works out for me. And for the most part, I have to say, the clients that I work with where I implement sober fitness, show them how to eat right, show them how to exercise right, because there is such a thing as overdoing it or underdoing it, of course, and you get that right for the individual client. I have to tell you that the success rate of them staying sober and feeling good about their recovery right away is phenomenal. I want to say 95%. The thing in recovery is we have to get people excited about recovery, especially our youth. The key to do that is through physical fitness, but away from this, if you look at athletes across the board, for instance, in America, it's all this macho stuff, but that sober fitness is completely trying to move away from. But that's a whole other subject.
I got it. So let's talk about this class. You've created this fitness and recovery class, and this is for anybody who wants to understand how fitness and recovery works or become a fitness and recovery coach. and, of course, treatment centers. So I know everyone can find that at theaddictionsacademy.com, but where can they find you? If they want to hire you as a fitness sober coach or sober companion, where do they find you?
You can find me online at soberfitness.com, on Instagram under soberfitness.com, Facebook. Soberfitness.com is the name of my company. It's the name of the system that I work with, and that's where you find me.
Okay, perfect. And you can also find Boris on my website, theaddictionscoach.com. He is one of our trainers and one of our coaches as well. In fact, he just got called out on assignment by request after they saw his picture and bio. And you can always reach us at 1-800-706-0318. And I want to thank Boris for coming on today and hope everybody understands that Pop-Tart is not a breakfast food.
Kelly, thank you so much for taking the time. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye. Hey, everyone. Thanks again for listening. I really hope you enjoyed the show today. Head on over to iTunes and Apple Podcasts and leave a comment or review of what you think. Or contact us at 1-800-706-0318. If you want to be on our show, feel free to email or call. And if you have a topic, feel free to email or call as well.
Thanks for listening to Unpause Your Life. For show notes and more, head on over to unpauseyourlife.com.
Big shout out to recoveryinnovators.com for help producing this show. Thank you, guys.
I took a walk down the long road where they said that I shouldn't go. On my way found a reason to wake up another day. But they needed to show you all the things that you won't do. Find faith or religion, but nothing to show for it. No need to escape in love with my pain. I may be awake, but I'm alive, still alive, and I won't be bound by your mistake. No, I won't be your enemy, trapped at the gate. Bring me to life, put me to death. Just give me something that's just not so hard to believe. To believe. To believe. I took a walk down the dark road where they said that I shouldn't go. I knew the dangers of flying. Now I'm so far from solid ground. But they needed to show you all the things that you won't do. Find faith or religion, but nothing to show for it. No need to escape in love with my pain. I may be awake, but I'm alive, still alive, and I won't be bound by your mistake. No, I won't be your enemy, trapped at the gate. Bring me to life, put me to death. Just give me